Hello and welcome back to the series where I try to build a business from scratch using only no-code tools, and it has been quite a ride. We actually have a finished product that is working. We built it with Webflow, came up with the idea. We integrated with Outset and JetBoost to handle payments and logging in and out and filtering and search and all of that, and it is done. And now what we're going to be doing in this video is coming up with a marketing plan. And the thing that you need to understand and that, I'm starting to realize is there's only a couple days left in this challenge. And the thing is, marketing, launching, selling, that's a long-term strategy. That's not something that you can just, and customers will appear. But we are going to come up with a plan, a multi-week, even multi-month plan that we can follow to get customers and then continue improving the product in order to get more customers. It becomes this flywheel of constantly improving and gaining more and more customers. Now, if I had enough time in this challenge, I would just do potentially all of this in like a day. But the reality is, one of the places I want to launch on is AppSumo, and they usually take at least a couple days to review your product before they'll put it on the marketplace. And so even if I submitted it today, I wouldn't have time to actually get it listed before the challenge is over. However, I'm still going to try to get all of these things set up. And then next week, hopefully everything will get accepted. And I'll make like a follow-up video of how the whole series went and talk about how much I honestly disliked it and all of the downsides of using no code. But we'll get into that next week. In this video, like I said, let's make a marketing plan of how we're going to get the product out there and in front of customers. So the big key with launching a product of any kind, it doesn't have to be a software, it can be a physical product, an info product, but launching a product of any kind involves multiple launches. And this is something that I see a lot of people get wrong because they think that launch is like a one-time thing. The reality is launching is a weekly thing. You can launch multiple times, and you should launch multiple times because with every launch, you get better at launching. You get better at your sales pitch. You get better at, saying the right things to acquire customers, and you get feedback, whether it be from customers that are new or from just people commenting on your launch, of how you can improve your product. How can you improve your landing page? How can you make your product just genuinely better? So you should be launching every week, I think. And if you want to launch more often than that, you certainly can, but at least once a week on different platforms. So for example, maybe week 1, we would launch on Product Hunt. Week 2, we would launch on AppSumo. Week 3, we would launch on various subreddits. 4, we would do some launch on Twitter, and then maybe we do a launch to an email list. So that actually is effectively the plan that I would take to launch this SaaS. Is the first week I would do something on Product Hunt. And I don't really care that much which day or what time, because really it's just to get the product going, get it out there and see if anybody will see it. If no one sees it, that's totally okay because this is just the first week, but I just want to get it listed, get it on there, and then I can put like a badge on the main website that, hey, this product listed on Product Hunt. That helps build authority. So that is kind of the first thing I would do in the first week. And then after that, week 2 would be AppSumo, and I would offer a lifetime deal for the product. I know I already offer a lifetime deal, so it would basically be the same deal. But if I put that on AppSumo, that hopefully will get a good bit of customers actually coming in to use the lifetime deal. And at the same time would also potentially bring some traffic back to the Product Hunt page because I've got that badge on my site, so people will check that out. And as you can see, it kind of starts building up this buzz as you add more and more launches over the weeks to come. You basically launch here, launch here, launch here, and then on your main site, you include the fact that you launched on those places. That not only builds credibility and authority, but it also helps future launches on different platforms. And then for week 3, again, I'd go to Reddit. And the thing with Reddit is you can actually, on Upwork, hire someone to do posts for you on whatever subreddits would be appropriate for your product. And the reason that it's a good idea to do it like that is because if you post with your own personal account, If you don't post correctly and you make it too promotional, then you can have your account banned from subreddits. Moreover, if you don't have really high karma, then that post might not show up anyway. So if you can have people post with various accounts that are at high karma all over Reddit, or at least in the appropriate subreddits, you should be able to get that post will show up and rise to the top of the page for a particular subreddit, and then more and more people will see it and hopefully vote it up. But that's as simple as going to Upwork and just searching for Reddit professional or Reddit product launch or something like that, and then creating a job listing, and then people will flood in offering to post your information on a particular subreddit about your startup. And then the week after that, I would potentially do Twitter. I don't really like Twitter. I don't have a Twitter, so maybe I wouldn't do it just personally. But if I had a Twitter, that would be an appropriate place to probably launch a product like this. And that would involve just like following people that I felt were good candidates and then probably just messaging them, asking them to check out the product. But since this product is also a directory of blogs and things like that, I would also use the product that I made to find various blogs and sites that I could reach out to that could potentially promote the product. And that would count as a launch because you're basically launching it on another site. So that would be, you could fill a lot of weeks doing constantly launching the product on various blogs. But I think launching on these larger platforms first, just to gain some credibility there, and then going to the smaller ones, because the thing is, if you have like a Product Hunt badge, you've got an AppSumo page, and things people are talking about you on Reddit, it's going to be easier to sell the fact that you want to be promoted on a smaller blog because you've got some authority there. So that would also help a lot when reaching out to the smaller blog owners. And then lastly, we could do an email list launch, which is kind of the same thing, but basically you'd reach out to people that run newsletters and you would just ask for a paid promotion. A lot of newsletters survive on paid promotions. So you'd find various newsletters that, the audience might make sense with your product, and then you would pay them to basically just promote your product in their newsletter. Now, the key takeaway from this whole video is that if you have no audience and you have no credibility and you have no platform, you have no authority anywhere, you cannot build a successful business in 2 weeks. See, the thing is, we see a lot of like influencers and, people launch these platforms and they blow up immediately, right? And they're an overnight success. But the reality is they already had a huge audience. And that is actually the cheat code. And that is to build an audience before you build a product. Because if you already have an audience, you already know the market, what they want, and you also already have a bunch of people that are going to buy the product when it comes out. And so you can immediately launch and have tons of people buy your product. And this is, of course, what I did with Atlas. And this is why Atlas was a big success for me. I already had an audience of a bunch of people that wanted to sell on Amazon and were looking for products. All I did was I created a product that allowed them to do that. I sent a few emails and immediately had a bunch of customers. And even if you wanted to go all in on only paid ads, the reality is if you don't have any other kind of content, you don't have any social pages, you don't have anything, that credibility is just not there. And so you could run a bunch of paid ads, but they probably won't be profitable because people aren't going to buy a product that they know nothing about. And there's no reviews, there's nothing on social media, there's nothing, they have no blog, they have no authority, no credibility. And so building up the authority and credibility is just something that takes a long time. And I know that that's not something that you want to hear, but that's the reality of building any kind of company, is having authority. You just have to build that up. You have to take the time to build that credibility. Now, I know that you want a shortcut to that, right? Like, how do I skip all this credibility building? I want a shortcut. I don't want to have to do all that. And the great thing is there is a shortcut, and I will share it with you. And the shortcut is partnering with someone that already has done all that legwork, right? So if you're just the builder and you like building stuff, partner with someone that already has an audience. And then all that they have to do is just promote the product. And all that you have to do is build the product. You build the product, they promote it, and you both split the profits however you think is relevant. Now, I know this video was probably not what you were expecting, and honestly, it's probably not what you want either, but it's the stone cold hard truth, and that is that marketing takes time. It takes a long time to build up credibility and authority, and it's not something that you can just do in 2 weeks with the snap of a fingers. You actually have to take your time to build quality content and material and spread that out throughout the web. And yes, you can accelerate that by using money, by using paid ads, but you can't skip it altogether unless you partner with someone that has already done all of that. Then you can kind of piggyback on their success. Anyway, next week, I'm going to do a follow-up video after the challenge is officially over, talk about the things that I did right, the things that I did wrong, where I could learn, where I could have improved, and we'll talk about the ultimate results, if any sales happened, and then divvy that up to all the people that commented on the very first video as promised. But again, that is if this actually makes any money, gets any customers. We will see, and I'll see you in the next video.